Hey everybody, it's Jimmy and Bill. So Bill, today what we're talking about is something really, really cool, okay? And so this article came out and I did additional research into it. 23 U.S. states are losing residents faster than ever, okay? Why is this happening? Okay, so we're going to put a twist on this. We're going to say, I'm going to pick some of the states and we're going to read why they're losing residents. And we're going to say, can it happen in Florida? All right, because some of the things I read, because of the states, losing residents, it really can't happen in Florida, in my opinion. So that's what we're talking about today. So if you like this kind of content, consider subscribing. I really appreciate it, and we work really hard on these videos. And stay till the end because the end one is pretty cool. So make sure you do that. All right, let's there's no particular order, but let's talk about it, okay? Because the elephant's in the room. First one, California. California is experiencing a rise in housing costs, higher taxes, wildfires. Look what's going on right now with the wildfires and the Palisades. Residents unhappy with state unaffordability, climate risks. They're choosing to move to states like Texas or Nevada, which offer lower cost of living. Now, okay, so we picked a few things: higher taxes, housing costs. Okay, my opinion, can this happen in Florida? I think absolutely.
Of course, I agree.
Okay, so I think people will move out of Florida because of just property taxes, homeowners insurance, and just the cost of homes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the same reasons people moving out of California could be moving out of Florida.
Right, now I think California is a totally different animal than Florida in general, but yes, that is...
In the concept of things.
Yeah, the concept of things, it is completely possible and feasible.
All right, New York. Okay, I'm hitting the big ones really fast, so I'm not going to prolong. New Yorkers are choosing to leave because of expensive housing, again, high tax costs, dense urban living, which has negatively impact the quality of life. So let's leave it at that. So basically, I'm from New York, so I can talk about it. Long Island, very urban, okay? I mean, you go out to Suffolk County, some places, Riverhead, I lived out there too, it's nicer. But 5 boroughs, Queens, So, the whole thing is too with New York, which I don't agree with this one. Upstate New York and the 5 boroughs in Long Island are like 2 different states. They really are.
Right.
Okay? I don't even consider upstate New York.
New York, right. New York is New York.
New York is New York. Okay?
Yep, I gotcha.
So, let's talk about Florida. Florida, yes, we have a lot of people moving here. But we talked about this in our last video. If you just drive an hour, 20 minutes past where you live.
Yeah, I mean, you see nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's still farmland. I just went out last night to, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, and they're developing a new community, but it's right in the middle of a, several thousand acre farm. They sold off a little parcel, and they're putting in 700 homes over there, but they still have the farm running. And you pass the farm getting in, which is really kind of neat because it's an active cattle farm.
Yeah.
And it's gigantic. It's ridiculous when you kind of put the drone up and see how big and expansive the land is, because you don't have that depth perception because there's nothing there. It's just grass.
Oh,
it's crazy.
I agree. So I don't think that will happen to Florida because there's so much room in Florida.
It's insane.
All right, so let's go. Illinois, major cities, urban centers like Chicago experience rising crime rates, okay, and major rising cost of living, which leads to a decline in quality of life. Illinois also has high property taxes and faces issues of physical instability, like basically they're going broke. Okay.
So now is that Chicago or?
No, it's just Illinois. Illinois,
the state of Illinois.
Yeah, people are leaving. I can go more reasons why they're leaving Illinois. Hey, if you guys live in Illinois, tell us. Is this correct? But so let's talk about these high crime rate. Every state has crime, including Florida.
Right. And I've got some friends that live in Illinois, so I just don't understand. I guess, and they've never mentioned the crime to me, so.
Well, maybe they're talking more of Chicago and stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what I mean. I think that's going to be more in like a big city, and of course, the more densely populated something is, the higher the crime rate would possibly be.
I don't think this could happen here right now in Florida. I don't think people are going to move out of Florida and say, "Oh, I'm moving out of Florida because of crime." Because I feel comfortable pretty much everywhere in Florida.
Yeah. There's very few places, even in some of our bad areas, that they're not really that bad compared to some of the other states I've been in.
The quality of life. I mean, yeah, people in Illinois. Yeah, that's subjective. You know,
super subjective. You know, they deal with the cold, we deal with the heat, so it just depends. And I guess it really would depend, because my one friend he doesn't live in the city. You know, he lives out, and I guess more of a suburban area. And just the way, like I've seen his house is amazing. You know, big.
Well, that's why we want everybody's feedback. Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't know. I think that's pigeonholing something too much.
All right, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is among the top states experience an exodus. Some residents include concerns about safety. Okay. Lack of opportunities. States, smaller towns are aging infrastructure. Some residents also find the climate in the state not agreeable with their preferences, leading them to move to warmer. Okay. Okay. I used to live for a short period in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. Okay, outside a place called Scranton, you know, the Poconos. And it gets super cold there in the winter. So I bet you a lot of these people in Pennsylvania, and again, if you're from Pennsylvania, comment below, I bet you a lot of them are moving out because of the freaking weather.
Right. I mean, I think that would be a driver. That would probably, if we really started to pull everything down, that would probably be one of the drivers for most of the northern states, if they're going to come south.
Well,
you know?
There's a lot more northern states on here, and you know, the people are going to comment saying, "Hey, do you see a theme going on here?" And I'm not even going to go there.
Yeah.
Okay, but people are going to go there to say that. Okay.
We didn't write the article.
We didn't write the article. Okay, Michigan is another state. Some Michigan residents find the state's lack of job opportunities limits their career growth. Some are leaving to be closer to family members, and others are leaving because of a declining infrastructure in the state. Again, we have two states now. They talk about infrastructure.
Right.
Okay, and I'm sure climate is too. I don't know where they got the stats from, but according to this article, they seem like, you know, they did a survey.
So when we're talking about some of those states, you know, in the grand scheme of things, Florida as a whole is very young as a state. You know, I'm not talking maybe, you know, like St. Augustine and some of those areas, but I'm talking Florida as a whole is a very young state.
Well, there's people in Florida that did tell me I'm moving out because of the weather, and two things. One of them, just they ran into a hurricane. They're like, I can't deal with it, and they're like, enough is enough. Okay, so there's no safe place in Florida. We said that, you know, all the time. Some other people moved here and they just really can't take the heat in the summer. Right now we're freezing.
Oh yeah.
But if a northerner was sitting here right now, they would be in shorts and a t-shirt.
Right. And I mean, we're also, the wind's blowing 20 miles an hour and it's 42 degrees, but for you guys. But you know, when I say young state, I mean not young as in population, I'm saying young as a state in general. So infrastructure wise is kind of where I'm heading. You know, when you're talking buildings that are several hundred years old in some of those northern states.
Yeah, we're a young state.
We don't have buildings that old.
But we do have the oldest city or town in the United States, St. Augustine.
But that's, I mean, but that's just that little stamp.
That's a little stamp. All right, let's go to the next one. Ohio. Ohio residents are relocating mainly because of lack of job opportunities, limited job possibilities in state sectors. So the biggest thing here is jobs. Ohio. Okay, if you're from Ohio, is there plenty of jobs? Because I could go down the list, but I want to try to get to all of them.
Yeah, and I would say we talked about jobs here too. Some people, we kind of maybe debunked that a little bit, that there's no jobs here in Florida. And I guess it goes back to, again, what we talked about before. What kind of job are you looking for? And you
have to admit that Florida is business friendly.
Yeah, Florida is very business friendly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's like, if you want to start a business in Florida, and you have to work with the state, they're kind of cool to work with. Like, if I have a problem, I can literally call up the state and say, hey, you know?
Yeah. You might be on hold for a minute, but you do get somebody.
But you do get somebody.
Yeah.
All right, this one I could talk about because I spent a lot of time there. Connecticut. Connecticut's high income state Okay, yeah, Connecticut is a high-income state, but estate taxes, increasingly expensive houses, and overall cost of living for many residents. Connecticut is super expensive, and Florida is getting expensive, but I don't think, well, yeah, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it, you tell me. I think people are moving out of Florida just because it's too expensive, just like Connecticut. What do you think?
I think some people are going to move out of Florida because, we've said it in the past that Florida is expensive for Floridians. Mm-hmm. Because we do have a lot of transplants that are remote workers or have retired from a career that's in another state where the income level is higher because the expenses are, double, triple, quadruple what it is here in Florida. So they do move here. So again, it's somewhat subjective. And if we're not just talking about the coast and we're talking about Florida as a whole, it is more affordable than, let's say, New York City. And if you've got a pension or a retirement from New York City and you come down to Florida, you're probably going to do okay.
Yeah, I agree with that one. New Jersey.
Isn't that the same thing? I'm just trying to get a rise from people. Come on.
Okay. New Jersey. The high cost of living New Jersey is pushing many residents to seek opportunities elsewhere. Soaring property taxes and ever-increasing housing costs make it difficult for many families to afford to stay. Furthermore, the state has experienced significant overcrowding, leading to congestion in many areas, impacting the overall quality of life.
Well, we don't have overcrowding.
No, and the overall quality of life in Jersey, I spent a lot of time in Jersey too, and I could see that. I don't think it's just too gray, some areas. There's beautiful areas of New Jersey, don't get me wrong, and I have a lot of friends that live in Jersey and stuff, and I love visiting Jersey, but I don't know. I mean, quality of life. Why don't you guys comment on that one? Because I can't really give a decision on that because I didn't spend enough time in Jersey.
And what would be quality of life? Maybe fill us in on that too, because that's really what are we talking when it comes to quality of life?
Yeah, if you live in Jersey, but I don't think that what's happening in Jersey is happening in Florida right now.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, Massachusetts. Again, people are going to comment. Hey, I didn't make this list up, okay? These are the people that are leaving these states.
Let me guess, some infrastructure maybe?
No, many Massachusetts residents are struggling to keep up with skyrocketing costs again, leaving the state. Housing, transportation costs, the two biggest financial burdens that impact many residents, driving many families to retire and leave to more affordable states that offer lower burdens like New Hampshire. Okay, I lived in New Hampshire for many years. Tanya's from New Hampshire. I could tell you that everybody is just crossing the border and they're going to New Hampshire, okay? It's like New Hampshire's becoming an extension of Massachusetts now. And, they are bringing in their politics and everything, that they are bringing in that. But here's the thing, New Hampshire has no income tax and it has no sales tax, okay? And when I lived in Maine, I would cross the bridge and shop in New Hampshire where there's no sales tax, and vice versa. People from Massachusetts cross the thing. It's just like a little slice there. So let's talk about this one, Louisiana.
We came south.
Yeah, we came south. So it's weather. Okay, Louisiana residents are choosing to leave. Owing to state-range infrastructure, climate challenges, the states lack economic diversity.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe fill us in on that one.
Yeah. Lower employment, economic opportunities.
So
it's all about jobs. I'm going down the list. It's all about jobs.
So maybe there is some issue because, obviously Louisiana does get, they're, hurricane prone just like we are. And then, maybe their infrastructure is not set up enough to sustain when there is those big hits.
But I don't think that Florida will. We don't have that problem. I mean, we have the climate problem.
Climate's the same for the most part.
Yeah,
Louisiana's probably a little hotter and wetter, but
yeah. But I mean, diversity. We have plenty of diversity here.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't say anything about that. And I feel like employment opportunities are getting better over here. Let's go to the next one. West Virginia. West Virginia, people are leaving.
Really?
Yeah. West Virginia is facing many economic challenges which have driven many residents to leave the state. Again,
Interesting.
it's one of the lowest ranked education states and has led many families to relocate to areas that offer children better education opportunities. The state's poor economy is also lacks job opportunities. So basically it's education and jobs. Florida doesn't have that problem. I think Florida, doesn't have the perfect school things, but there is a lot of...
We got a pretty good school system.
We have a pretty good school system.
Yeah, we do. We got a pretty decent school system. Particularly, I mean, I can only speak to here, but, because this is where I went to school. But we do have a fairly decent school system here.
All right, let's talk about this one. Mississippi. Mississippi is experiencing a population decline driven by lack of robust economy opportunities. Residents are seeking better prospects everywhere, drawn away by limited career options and struggling economy. Furthermore, the state faces challenges in attracting and retaining talent due to lack of culture amenities. I guess there's not a lot to do in Mississippi?
I've never been to Mississippi.
I've been to Mississippi. There's probably not a lot to do there. If you're from Mississippi, tell us what you guys think.
Yeah, we'll be some
And
good
listen,
spots.
don't beat me up or Bill up on this one because I didn't make this list up.
Yeah, I kind of wonder. Well, anyway, go on. I'll go on to that in a minute.
Alaska. People are leaving Alaska.
Well, come on now.
Extreme weather,
Yeah.
isolation, other
Yeah.
parts of the country, economic instability. There's another bunch of reasons, but extreme weather. I'll just leave it at that.
All right.
Florida doesn't have that
We don't
problem.
have that problem.
Okay, this one over here, and I love this state, okay? Hawaii. People are leaving Hawaii, and I already know why. While the state offers access to relaxed lifestyle, warm weather, and overall excellent quality of life, many residents choose to leave because of the state's high cost of living and lack of affordable housing options. I spent a good amount of time in Hawaii. It's freaking expensive,
Oh yeah.
okay? It's really, really expensive. And, I mean, Florida is a lot more affordable than Hawaii. Okay, next one that people are leaving is North Dakota. Many job seekers are leaving North Dakota for areas of more employment opportunities and diverse economies. Some residents also choose to leave because of the state's infrastructure issue, leading to many inconveniences. There's not a lot going on in North Dakota.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever.
I mean, I lived in Rapid City, South Dakota. Pretty much, guys, I lived a lot of
Pretty
places.
much Jimmy's moved every year for the last 50 years.
I couldn't find a perfect place to live, and Florida, at the end of the day, became the closest thing to it. But believe me, Florida has its own issues. But I did live in a lot. And when I say I lived, I didn't say I drove through. I literally moved there, bought a house there, lived there, and then I'm like, okay, good or bad, Oregon has experienced high cost of making houses more affordable. Its residents are causing many people to leave the state. Concerns about safety issues also have driven many families and residents to leave to move to areas of more affordable housing. So basically,
So the premise of all of this is it's everybody's moving somewhere out of these 27 states.
23 states.
23 states.
Mm-hmm.
23 states. Because they're too expensive for housing.
Well, housing, economy. So basically, look, I won't even go down the reason about it.
Bad, why is the housing so expensive?
People are leaving Vermont. People are leaving Kentucky. People are leaving Rhode Island, Minnesota, Arkansas, and Indiana. Those are the states. They're moving to states like Texas. They're moving to states like Florida. Mm-hmm. They're moving to states like South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee.
So moving to these places that we just kind of labeled off and where they're moving out of, if they're kind of citing economy outside of like Chicago, New York, Jersey, things like that, where the salaries are significantly higher, so it doesn't make sense unless you're working remote, you're going to come here. But some of those other smaller, more spread out states.
The people, it's jobs.
They just can't find the jobs. The homes are, because I know some of those states, the housing prices are significantly less than here.
Oh yeah,
They
like
just don't have
Mississippi,
jobs.
Mississippi, West Virginia, all that stuff. But if there's no job, it doesn't matter what the price of the house is.
Right. So it's more the job economy that they don't have enough to afford a house.
I literally went and looked at some houses when I was doing research in Mississippi in some areas and stuff like. I'm talking about $55,000, $60,000.
Oh yeah, even in Illinois or not Illinois. I'm trying to think where Josh lives.
Well, find me an $80,000 house in Florida.
I bet you could find some.
That's a good challenge. What we should do is we should say, hey, Kate, for 80.
But we should do it. But we got to set a few parameters if we're going to do that.
Like a single family residence, okay, on its own.
That's too broad.
On its own land.
Okay.
Like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Okay. Not a townhouse, because that's
not a townhouse.
Because that's
for under 100,000. We're going to work on that.
Under 100,000.
Actually, Bill's going to put that on his channel, and we'll talk about it.
We will. I'll do that, and then you'll just pop in whether we do it.
Yeah.
After the fact, or this, we'll jump on the podcast.
So a lot of reasons. So basically, that's why people are moving to Florida. Okay, and we're going to do our 2025 pros and cons of Florida. Probably pretty much this week, and because we do one every year. But yeah, a lot of people are moving out of those states because of just job opportunities.
So the
states are run.
Yeah, because they're searching for jobs. So they're finding better opportunity in the other states like Florida or things like that. Now, to the premise of the video, could those kind of things happen here in Florida where we have this economic downturn? Probably not.
But you guys live in all different states, including Canada. You guys are in Canada. Some people, I'm sure you have situations there too that people are moving out. But tell us what state you're from. Tell us why people are moving out, and a comment below, and I'll respond to it because I'm really curious. Because at the end of the day, people are moving out for family, for jobs, for some of them are moving out because of crime. Some of them are moving out because of politics. I hate to say it, but they are.
Yeah, politics change though, and that's the
weather. Everybody has a reason why they're moving out, but yeah, I mean, Florida doesn't have a lot of these issues that these other states have. That's the end of the day. Tell us what you think. And remember, do me a favor. Comment below, subscribe, share, and give this video a thumbs up. You have anything to add?
Nope, we'll see you on the next video.
Hey, watch this video right here. I'm picking it out just for you guys, all right? I do a lot of research. Say, well, hey, this is a video. It's really good for you guys to watch.
Jimmy researches a lot.
I do a lot. What do you
does.
To do these videos, it takes a lot of effort.
He does. He works hard.
All right, we'll talk to you next one. Thank you and have a great day.